So you love your coffee, but how much coffee is actually okay? Before we look into that, let's take a look at what are some of the short-term side effects of taking in too much caffeine. Some of the three most common causes of taking too much caffeine in the short term is restlessness, increased anxiety, and a quicker heart rate. So what are some of the long-term side effects? The main one we're going to look at is increased blood pressure. So when you take in consistent amount of caffeine in excess, what happens is you turn your blood vessels from this into this. And why is that a bad thing? To explain what I mean by that, I brought you to a running tap. So with this tap, you can imagine this tap are your blood vessels, the water is the blood flowing through it. But what happens when you close or you restrict your blood vessels? This is what happens. I get destroyed in water, but now what's happening is you've got an increased blood pressure and the heart is trying to cope with that kind of pressure inside the blood vessel. So how much caffeine is actually okay to be taken into your diet on a daily basis? So the general consensus is that anywhere between 300 to 400 milligrams of caffeine a day is acceptable in anyone's diet, and it actually has proven to have some health benefits as well. So there has been studies done to show that at a certain amount of caffeine intake, it does reduce your risk of certain diseases such as Parkinson's. But how much is 300 to 400 milligrams of coffee? How much does that look like in your diet? We can assume that the average cup is about 100 milligrams of caffeine a day. Some will have 77, some will have 130. The bigger ones that you get at Starbucks could have hundreds, 300 plus in it. But this is the average per cup, 100 grams. So you're looking at anywhere between 3 to 4 cups a day. Now some of you watching this are taking in 10, 20 plus cups of coffee every single day. So you have to ask yourself, if you're constantly taking that in and you're turning your blood vessels from this into this, and you all know what happens with the tap, you're increasing your blood pressure, and it's high blood pressure then that puts you more at risk of heart disease. So if you're taking in more than 4 cups of coffee a day, while it's been shown that around the 4 to 5 cups of coffee a day do have some health benefits, anything beyond that is starting to affect your long-term health. So if you're taking that much coffee, seriously think about cutting that back to a maximum between 3, 4, 5 cups of coffee every single day. And it's not just coffee that has caffeine, guys. You have to remember there's energy drinks, painkillers have caffeine in it, and all these things will add up. And it's also not just the caffeine on their own. We're talking about adding in high calorie sweeteners, sugar into our coffee, full fat milk, all these kind of things as well. Keep an eye on the coffee intake, and we'll see you on the next video.